Hello and good day. So we're going to start our lesson on 3D modeling. And for this, we are going to use a software that is free. You can just use any browser, but I recommend that you use Chrome. And the name of the software is SketchUp. There's no need to install anything. And to quickly go to the website, you can go to SketchUp.com, or you can just go there directly. The address is app.sketchup.com/app. Again, it's app.sketchup.com/app. So I'll open a new tab and let's go there. App.sketchup.com/app. I'll press enter. Let's wait, and you need to sign in. All you need to do to sign in is use your Google username. So here I will sign in with Google. And use your account. So I'll use my school account. Let's wait for a while. And I should be logged in. And let's start by clicking new, create new. And you should see the following. You should see there the main menu over here. Tools over here. There's a toolbar and other options are found here. And you should see a person, a model. This serves as a reference. So for starters, you need to set things up. I'll click the main menu and select app settings, and I'll go to navigation and select the device. If I'm using a mouse, which I am using now, I'll select mouse. If you're using a trackpad, use or select trackpad, and the default for two-finger swipe is orbit, which you will find out what it does later. But in my case, I'm using a mouse, so I'll select mouse, and then I'll scroll down and check. Okay, everything's there, and just close it. And then I'll go to the right side and select model info. I'll open length units. You have options there. We will use millimeters for our unit. And then for the precision, let's use 2 decimal places. And then there. Let's zoom in. So to zoom in, I have currently selected the select tool over here. Zoom in. I'm using the scroller to zoom in and zoom out. And then I'll start by using a pencil tool or the line tool. Let's draw a line. So let's start by making a cube. So let's start by using the line tool to draw let's say a 10 by 10 cube. So I'll click here at the center. By the way, the red line is the x-axis. The green line is our y-axis. You can just orbit. So I'm basically using or pressing the middle mouse button and moving it around the object. So if you're going to if you're using a trackpad, let's check what the options are. I'm searching for the orbit tool. Oh, there. You can just click the orbit and then just this time I'm using the left mouse button. I'm pressing it now and I'm moving it around to orbit or check, you know, or change my my view or orbit around the object. Okay, but if you are using the mouse, you can just press the middle button, which is at the same time the scroller and move the mouse around. All right, so I'll switch back to line and I'll zoom in. I'll press at the center. So again, the before we proceed now, the red line is the red axis, the green line is the green axis, and the blue axis is actually your Z axis. So I'm going to draw here, click. Let's work on a 10 by 10 cube. So that's our origin. And then carefully look at the lower right corner. As you move the line 2, you should see the numbers changing. So as you can see, you have their length. And as I move, the numbers change. So I'll zoom in. And then I'll make sure that the line will be the length of the line will be 10. Okay, so I can do that once it reaches 10. So carefully there, I'll click to indicate the end of the line. So let's check. I'll press escape. Okay, and then continue orbiting. Find out how it is. The line looks okay, and then I'm going to make another line. I'll start at the center and then move along the y-axis or the green axis, and then again look at the lower right corner. So if it's a bit hard for you, you can actually just type the number of the length that you require. Let's say I need 10. So instead of positioning the tool, making sure it's 10 millimeters, you can just ignore it. Just make sure that the line tool is along the y-axis, and then just press the number. So I need 10. I just press 1 and 0, and I'll press enter, and then that's it. So that makes our task a lot easier. So I can do the same for the x-axis or the red axis. So I'll move it parallel to the x-axis, and I'll just type 10. And in this case, the last line will be a lot easier. So I'll just need to connect this point to this point, and it's currently parallel to the y-axis. So I'll just click it to close, and let's check. Let's move around, and there. So currently it's in 2 dimensions or in 2D, but let me show you another way to do it. So I'm going to select the select tool, and I'll select everything, and I'll press delete to delete what I just did. And let's try doing this or doing the same using the rectangle tool. I'll click there, and I'll start probably over there at the center, click, and then I'll make sure that it will be by 10 by 10. Look at the dimensions at the lower right corners. See the numbers as they change. So you have 2 sets of numbers there, separated by commas. So you can also do the same thing a while ago. So instead of waiting for the numbers to be exact, you can just type the numbers. But in this case, we have 2 sets, so I'll just type 10 over 10 or comma 10. I'll press enter, then that makes everything okay. So this is a 10 by 10 square, And we can also do our own measurements to check if the measurement is okay, or use the tool as a guide. So there's a tool named tape measure. I'll use a tape measure to measure this point and that point, and it basically tells me 10. I'm not going to click again. I'll just press escape, and I'll proceed and measure this line. So starting there to this point, it says 10. I'll press escape, and then I'll proceed in making a cube. So we can actually do it this way. That's from this point to that point is 10. So I'll just type 10, 1 and 0, and then I'll press escape. I'll just do the same thing here again. From that point to that point, that would be 10, and I'll do the same here. So 10. Okay, make sure it shows blue. So it's basically telling us that it's parallel to the z-axis or the blue axis. So I'll type 10 there, and then all I need to do is to connect all the other remaining points. So that's 1, 2 over there and there. And in this case, this is actually wrong because this is supposed to be the interior. It's actually reversed. So to correct this, you can just type or right click. I'll use the select tool. You can just right click and select reverse face. Right click, reverse face. So do the same for all the faces. Reverse face, reverse face, yeah. Reverse, reverse, and reverse, and there. So this should be okay. You can also hide a panel and see what's inside. Right click, select hide, and you get to see that is the inside. And to unhide, you can just select here display for you to control the hidden objects. You can just show the hidden objects there. Once the hidden object is there, or the hidden geometry is selected, once you see it, you can just right click and select unhide, or you can just click all to unhide everything. Okay, but for 3D modeling, that shouldn't be the way things are done. Let's do things again and show you how it may be done the easiest in the easier way. So I have deleted it. I'll start again from scratch. I'll zoom in, select the middle, and then I'll type 10, comma 10, press enter. Then I have the square. So I need it to be 10 by 10. And I will use the push or pull tool and push it up until it becomes 10. Look at the lower right corner. Look at the lower right corner. But again, you can just type the number. You can just release it and then type the number that you need, 1 and 0, and press 10. Then that's it. So if you will orbit, check things, you will see that you don't need to reverse the face. Everything will be the way it should be. And maybe, so let me just, if you're lost, you can just, for example, you got lost. For some reason you are unable to find what you need to find. Okay, so there. Okay, so I'm somehow lost, and it might take time for me to find the object where it is. So you can just click here and select zoom extents so that you get to see the object that you're working on there. And maybe you can also remove this guide. As you can see, for that's an average person, the object that you are currently working on is this small. All right, so you can just erase this guide and zoom in. to the object, it's there. And maybe if we would like to uh, if we would like to make some changes, let's make this a bit smaller. Let's make this 2 millimeters. You can just use the push pull tool, but this time we'll push it down, and it doesn't have to be exact. Look at the lower right corner. We need it to be from 10 to 2. Just type 2 and press enter, then that's it. Oh, I made a mistake. I'll press Ctrl Z to undo. It should be 8 because we need this to be 2 millimeters in the height will be 2 millimeters. So I'll push down and select 8. Then that's it. So I have pushed down the cube from 10 millimeters. Now it is down to 2. Let's check. That's 2. Or you can also use the dimension tool. So I'll click here, click there, and move. Then that shows 2. And then I'm going to click there and click there and move. Then I should see 10. And I'll click also there and move. Then I will see the dimensions are 10 from this point to this point, 2 from this point to that point, that will be the height, and from this point to that point, that will be 10. So this is a square, so all sides should be 10 millimeters. And let us just assume we need a cylinder. All right, we need a cylinder on top of the square. So this is 10 by 10. Let's say we need a 5 a cylinder at the center, and let's say the diameter is let's say 5 millimeters. First, we'll use the tape measure to plot or to identify the center. So I'll just click there, and from that point to that point, and that should be our center. I'll use the circle tool and click there and move, and I have to indicate the radius. So if we need a circle or a cylinder with the diameter of 5, the radius should be 2.5. So I'll type 2.5. I'll press enter. So that's 2.5. Just to check, let's use the tape measure. So from that point to that point, that is 5 millimeters. And let us say that the height of the cylinder should be 10, for example. So I'm going to use the push pull tool, and then I'll pull it up to 10 millimeters. So 1 0, that's it. And if you don't need the hidden geometry, you can just remove it, remove the check, or also the hidden objects now can be unchecked. Okay, in case you don't want to see the hidden objects, because the purpose of hiding the object is for you not to see it. And there, if you don't need the guidelines anymore, you can just select delete all guides, and then that's it. If you don't need the dimensions, you can just select and delete, press delete. Okay, and there you go. There you go. So this is just an introduction to 3D modeling. But let's check further, if what's inside. So I'm going to right click this part. I'm going to hide so we can see what's inside. So this should be the inside of your model. Okay, so there should be it should be hollow. If for whatever reason, this is not hollow, or this is closed, you have to remove this part because this should be one unit, and make sure that the slicer, the software that came with your 3D printer, will not get confused. Just erase this part. Okay, and then I'm going to unhide all there. So let's take a look here. I'll hide this part. Then there. That's how it should look like. I'm going to unhide everything. Then that's it. That's it for our first lesson. And of course, don't forget to save. Click save. And then wait. And then you'll have several selections or only one. Just if you're presented with one, just select one and then type the name of the model, and then click save. That's it. That's your introduction to 3D modeling. That's it for today. Thank you.